categories of chiefs in Ghana. We have paramount chiefs and the Asantehene. Even the name Asantehene I have a problem with it. If you go to Mampong, the land there does not belong to the Otumfuo. I'm the only one who can say this. If you go to Kumasi, the land there does not belong to the Otumfuo. The question is that, who is he? What sort of chief? Is he a chief or a king? A king, I've already told you before, there were kingdoms in Ghana. But the moment we became a unitary state, Ghana, there's no king. People should learn to accept. If you don't accept me, me no buy argument. All
right, Abusiafo, me mamoni na akwaba. I hope you guys are doing great. Let us go back in time. Na yenti sembia some time ago, enche biasa Otumfuo Osei to editudra na seria sani amu nyina amu no. Machire madwen. Listen.
Min kase makotu biara job ensesan wo Ghana mem hata job ne sigarianti ase job ne Asantehene job min kase makotu biara job ensesan wo Ghana mem hata job ne sigarianti ase job ne Asantehene job min kase makotu biara job ensesan wo Ghana mem hata job ne sigarianti ase job ne Asantehene job.
All right, afi muntie ha. Otumfuo Osei to nienti a okan sansem we no. Na opese o kire se oye great. Na opese o kire se oye ohenepon. Na opese o kire se Ghana ha ye ka ohene a oye powerful. Ohene a okra tumi a ono ani Otumfuo. Nanim na chi ne nchen obia ni hobiem Otumfuo number 1. Ni ana opese o kire no. Tumi nyina ewura ni ana opese o kire no. Afi muntie ha, maminka we kire mo. You see, the biggest obstacle to progress is to live on past glory. And I said the biggest hindrance to greatness is to live on past glory. Eno na ha Asantefo. Eno na ha Asanteman. Because we can say about 500 years ago, about 600 years ago, na Ashanti Kingdom a great. Meaning, this is 2023. The question, yemisa yehone say, is Ashanti Kingdom still greater now? Yentuaso. We can say about 600 years ago, Emra Brofo no ba Gold Coast. And ye bekon ye konka ye ni ade. Na Asante your mind. Now Otumfuo Osei to Otumi and I say, na Ashanti Kingdom no they were great. Meaning, you know what time it is? This is 2023. And then, 20th of October 2023. Be fair with yourself. Think deeply. Ask yourself, Ashanti Kingdom, is it still great? Are you great, Hannah? Kanena, are you great? Kane, a chem. 500 years ago, a chem. 600 years ago, a chem. This is 2023. Ashanti Kingdom, is this still greater now? This is the question we must ask ourselves. Listen. Do you know something? Can you measure greatness? We say, the battle of Ayefeyase, the battle of Dodowa, the battle of Huan, the Ashantis, they fought and they won, so they were great. Those days, that is how we used to measure greatness. And the dynamics, are changing. And I say, you can say, it could be a greater, and I say, kingdom be a greater, and kanko development. Makwine, saying that ACTA, hospitals, saying that ACTA, Mokanya no ejina so ana development saying that ACTA, economy saying that ACTA, military power saying that ACTA. These are the things we use to determine greatness. Dynamics, are changing. I say those days. Say, cause a man be a greater, it be a maker or you know bear, it be a bear, me and son, I said 9. Full bed your home punchy will 9 yes. This man is a rich man and this man is great. But and then dynamics, are changing. And then to be called a great man is the level of your empire, your businesses, your success, what you have been able to do, how well you have been able to impact humanity. Subai, wanumu kasa, wone ye, eno na yebetimi ejina so actually says, man A and I say man B, or you great and I say or you great. The dynamics are changing. Let us stop living on past glory. Those days we used to have kings, but in modern day Ghana there is no king in this country. Because the moment are all the tribes that Gumbafuo, Fantefuo, Angunafuo, Enkranfuo, Gamanche, Otumfuo, we decided say we are coming together to form a sovereign nation called Ghana. We consolidated power. In those days, no, all kings, no, today they are all paramount chiefs. They are no longer kings, they are chiefs. Because they don't have the kind of power they used to have some years ago. Dynamics are changing. The situation now is different. The same thing. And I had US, America for the same thing. They are living on past glory. Americans are so adamant to accept the reality. Say, countries have now come of age. They have equally grown. The China we knew about 100 years ago is not the same China of today. The Middle East, UAE, Arab world that we knew over 50 years ago, today they have changed. They have become different nations. They are now powerful than they used to be. China is now powerful than it used to be. India, Russia, they are now more powerful than they used to be. Americans have not yet come to terms with this reality. Say, it is not changing. We are now moving away from their dominance to a multipolar world. They have not yet come to the reality. So, whilst Chinese are using their money to build on their infrastructure, whilst the Singaporeans, Malaysians, the UAE, Saudi Arabians are using their money, Iranians are using their money to build on their infrastructure, to build modern infrastructure. The Americans are using their money to sponsor wars just to feed their ego, to make themselves feel say they are still great. Because in their foolish mind, they think say being great is by going about and causing chaos and funding wars left, right, center. In so study Monko, China, Beijing. The level of infrastructure you find in China, you can't find the same thing in US. The US infrastructure is aging. The US economy is aging. But go to China, Singapore, Iran, Russia, you see modern infrastructure. Malaysia, Muniade, India, Muniade, you see modern infrastructure. UAE, you see modern infrastructure. That's why today, the tallest building in the world, any America, any China, it was UAE. Because they are the countries that we can call the new world. We can call the emerging world. Asantehene, you guys are doing the same mistake. Otumfuo claim say Ghana ha. Okasa no court in Ghana can overturn in semono. Now so baby a wotia ono ebesi ne ogusu fra no kingdom no. Yes munsu munsase. Upon 2 years Otumfuo claim say owo inachi common galam say within Ashanti region Otumfuo cannot solve it. Otumfuo cannot stop it. Or has not been able to stop it. Otumfuo claim you say Ghana ha ope ohina oye powerful la onu ani Otumfuo na nim na chi ni nchen obi ani ho biem. Nanso ekufado ba ye kejetia phase 2 a John Dramani Mahama esha ase awantimi anwie. Ekufado ba ye almost 8 years ni ontimi complete ye Otumfuo is quiet. Now, so ono na Osei say, Okasampua, no court in Ghana, not even the Supreme Court, can they overturn in some. They say, Otumfuo patch say, or you're bigger than Empo, the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land. And they say, oh, but you're bigger than Supreme Court today. And I say, oh, you're bigger than EMPO, the 1992 Constitution. This is the kind of message that Otumfuo wants to send out there. Now, so Mushe Kumasi, Mushe the level of mediocrity in Kumasi. Meaning, young forget about and a confanoche mreso, and a chenebu a kodria mreso, and a Hawaii mreso, a chem, and ma beam. Sa history no, yen shadi beam. Sansemono, a being si beam, a chem, it is gone and gone forever. Young forget the battle of Ayefeyase and the Otumfuo, a course of shows, and a Hawaii, and a Asantehene, and Otumfuo say to all cross the Prado, and a body to Asantehene, then Trafo, Minia, young forget a chem, a being si beam, yan 2 beam. Over 500,000 years ago, 600 years ago, Emma beam, a chem. This is 2023. Do you know what time it is? Ask yourself. Me say minimum ni asemu. Sana Asantehene great o Asantehene dia yo minimum ni asem. Me say ni ami bi samone say magiatum those days and I say some years ago Ashanti used to be great. The question is, this is 2023. Are you still great? This is the question you must ask yourself. We are Asantehene open puntu. When you bring puntu when you question, I was ubisa who say about 600 years ago we were great. What about today? Are we still great? About 600 years ago we were called a kingdom. What about today? Are we still being called a kingdom? About 500 years ago, Otumfuo was a king. What about today? Is he still a king? These are the questions you must ask yourself. You see, if you want to progress, we must learn to come to terms with modern reality. And nothing I made America for example, no. Americans are now struggling because they haven't come to terms with modern reality. Say, the Russia they knew years back is not the same Russia of today. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, what became of Russia is not the same Russia of today. Today they are far more stronger. Americans cannot take them on. Americans cannot take China on. If they try, the whole world will go down. Because these are nuclear powers we are talking about. It is a 0%. Even within our own lives in Wahoo. So 0% you must learn to come to terms with reality. Obi so chen wa jitu mu se sa so mesi oso chen me jimi a obebo me. Iti onamu a so nso ho na sua nyansa na wo so no enkakra begin to work on yourself. This is wisdom. Iti enya about say me na me Otumfuo and I mean I be conquer and I mean I yes and I said yo do my hene or maybe baby and I don't ma and I want chem titin sem minia sansem we me say dey ye titin sem chem yen hye biem and the wa wo hwe mi hey sansem we un hye biem mu na o de wu mini problem ebia yen fa ne say over 700 years ago konfuo bi near friend who confanoche e commandi golden stool e ba Asanteman mu e twabo eno ye den be 700 years ago ensi biem sa golden stool no e ma biem ene golden stool e ma e space shuttle na e ba ene golden stool emfiwe mu ma biem e nuclear weapons ene missiles na e ko wie mu ene golden stool e ma biem e satellites e na esense wie mu. And a golden stool and beam a nipa and a air core into space. A chem. The dynamics of the old are not the same dynamics of today. Time is changing and we must learn to change, adapt and change our thinking, change our mentality, change the way we think and the way we reason. Yen changing up. And yes, sir, yen kwanye nimu da. And you see, this is the reason why Ghana is not progressing because, for example, so we crack broche ba na so be che fiefo say oh there be ma me sa de we no nye say ne ne ade oh jawasem enye sa ne ye no na nanu ya okwa abrochire na obai na minim na oye tuno. That is why we are stuck in mediocrity. Menka say Asantehene nye great. Menka say Asantehene nye nipa. Ni ame pa che ne say sanya na Asantehene ye great no. Sa na dagomba fonso ye great. Sa na enkran fonso ye great. Sanya na Asantehene eye konfanoche no sa na anwonafo nso ewo togbi charlie. Sanya mu na mo say konfanoche eye wondrous things no the same way na togbi charlie so did amazing job. But togbi charlie eye old story. Konfanoche eye old story. Dagomba kingdom eye old story. Ashanti kingdom eye old story. Hwahwai kingdom eye old story. This is our new reality, and that reality is Ghana, a sovereign nation. I said you today, every king is now a paramount chief. This is the new reality. Intiene no, so ye chief wa. E die ba de na ubetimi aye ama o man so. Baby a no so traditional area no so etimi etumpon. These are the questions you must ask yourself. And you say, ena Ghana ha, ena me kasa, not even Supreme Court. Hey, Otumfuo bro wase na wada Roma. Bro wase why? Na ye den ya o she Ghana say. Passport a ukra odi tu kwan. Ye ntro mu the kingdom of Ashanti. Ya tro di agum whether diplomatic or whatever. Eye the property of the nation Ghana. Eti brohwase. Nana, wada Roma? Brohwase. Kokotino ano shedodo ano den. We are changing you. The world is changing. The world has changed and the world continue to change. Yen change again. Yen changing the way we see the world. Yen changing the way we behave. Who I was 20 years ago, I am now a different person. About 20 years ago, I had no wife, I had no child, for example. But today, I am a family man with a wife and a child. Things have changed. It must study at those days, no, I could come or do 3 videos in a day, 4 videos in a day. Say, no, I'm a family man, timim, because I have other responsibilities. Things change. It change what you adapt to the current situation. Stop living in past glory. Stop living on past glory. It will hinder you from modern progress. Me kano kre na chemu. Me say, ye nyai se abribiano, ye living on past glory. And asante your mind, and a piao, and asante de muntimi ye, and a hwan asante ni shio. Sa mutia bo friend na ekre kramono, and enkwa kon biemu. Asante sa mutia bo friend na ene Otumfuo di asana mu ye kekra no ene enkwa kon biemu ene yede sophisticated weapons ena ekwa kon yede missiles ene crampo no ye nsoma sojafo se monko biem ye soma weapons se monko na monko diawu. Today we are having missiles traveling 5 times the speed of sound. We are changing. Mun change mo adwen na mun change mo mentality. Enoti ahaya Sakra ne friend no, I think in Meswati or something, Swaziland, Eswatini. On say we failing to change with time. There was uprising. He was nearly boycotted. He was nearly dethroned. Say the people are calling for democracy because the king has failed to realize say times are changing and you must adapt. So one adapt here, your people will end up rising against you because you have become a cake. You have made yourself a hindrance to their progress. Times are changing. Let us learn to change and adapt with time. Where a simple message. Anyasa, yen kwenimu. Anyasa, asante kwenimu. And I can the way and asante is it to aba and asante they say ya moon change mo dwen dynamics are changing. I repeat myself, those days no we used to measure greatness with say ebia okwa akon na wini ye na hwan na tribal war bi na okun amu na wini ye and then a chem sa nyuma na chem And you can say UAE, Dubai, are great because we see the level of progress in Dubai. We see the level of infrastructure in Dubai. Yes, say emre dania ye nani ye ho bi. Say abode nyina e dane moa. Na say won so wa nani aboa. Ombe dane emoa abechiware. Say ewiase change. Na say yan change adwen a, we will end up being stuck in poverty, being stuck in misery, being stuck in oppression, being stuck in with backward mentality, being stuck with archaic mentality, being stuck with old ways of doing things. And the old ways of doing things will never ever bring you modern results. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. For me the movie here. Send you na muni midi at the chairman Freemind. Enjoy your weekend. Makram.
Categories of chiefs in Ghana. We have paramount chiefs and the Asantehene. Even the name Asantehene I have a problem with it. If you go to Mampong, the land there does not belong to the Otumfuo. I'm the only one who can say this. If you go to Kumasi, the land there does not belong to the Otumfuo. The question is that, who is he? What sort of chief? Is he a chief or a king? A king, I've already told you before, there were kingdoms in Ghana. But the moment we became a unitary state, Ghana, there's no king. People should learn to accept. If you don't accept me, Domahini, me no be argument, ma ko si se nyame obefre.